This is terrible. This is our Saturday night game, 10 o'clock, pushed on FX. Hopefully they give us more content in the locker room of DC St. Louis, because I'd rather watch the aftermath of that game than even catch the kickoff of this one.
I'd rather watch reruns of Mom again.
Apparently, when I was in Orlando, let's address this. Apparently, when I was in Orlando, I get a text message from Zook sitting here back at Studio Z. Hey, this game kicked off at 7, right? Yeah, there's 8 minutes left in the first quarter. I'm sitting right here in the press box watching it. Oh, okay. Because I'm watching reruns of Mom. I go on Twitter. Zook wasn't joking. Everybody hit me up saying, Mom is on. Had to do with daylight savings time, I guess. I was running around trying to get an official report. I almost got kicked out. They're like, Springball Boulevard, get out of our face. We're trying to fix this. No official statement from the league, but anyway, XFL Reddit referring to this one as the Tank Bowl. We've developed an official drinking game here. I don't know if I gave Zook the rules for this one, so he's going to hear them now. Here's the rules for the Orlando Vegas drinking game. Hope you join us. Drink every time Rod Woodson disagrees with a call. Drink every time a new quarterback enters the game. Seen that a lot this year. Here's the tough one. Drink every time Terrell Buckley looks unhappy or says he's unhappy with someone. Drink every time the ESPN truck has to use the dump button and cut the audio out of the broadcast. Drink every time a point after conversion is failed. And lastly, little 2-pack here for you. This can be your liquor drinks. Drink every time the broadcasters hint at the over being dead or a penalty is called. And have yourself an absolutely sickening Saturday night. What else do we talk about with this one? Quentin Flowers could be a start. One of 2 Quentins now active on the Orlando quarterback room as the XFL announces yesterday that Quentin Dormady's name has been cleared of all potential allegations of selling the playbook. I feel bad for that gentleman because we know how social media culture is these days, Zook, and people are just going to simply say about Quentin Dormady the rest of his career, isn't that the guy who sold the playbook? No. The investigation was concluded. Innocent until proven guilty. Remember that. Quentin Dormady's name cleared. He's back on the active roster. So who's the odd man out? They got 4 quarterbacks, Paxton Lynch, DeAndre Francois, and the 2 Quentins. Can't keep 4 on the roster. Francois held out of practice this week with a concussion. Terrell Buckley hinting at some potential changes here. Again, Vegas has already let their offensive coordinator go. We saw some shifting in San Antonio. Their OC demoted to wide receivers coach. Haven't heard much out of the Guardians, though, about the changes they're making, so maybe Terrell Buckley had a little bit of a change of heart. We'll have to see. Sometimes you got to wait until game day to find these out. If Orlando can win the second and third quarters again, I give them a pretty good shot, and this number's a little high. If you're laying the 7.5 with Vegas, first of all, why? There's better spots on this card. Second of all, Orlando is undefeated against teams not in Texas. Might be 0-0, but they're still unbeaten. Maybe that's the Texas bug that they've been catching recently. Guardians, 3rd in the league in passing attempts, again, mostly due to trailing in the 2 times they played Houston plus a San Antonio loss. Cody Latimer, see him on screen there. He's been a real silver lining. I think this is a guy who's NFL ready, clearly a vet. Always open in this offense for Paxton Lynch. And you have to go to him early and often. Remember, Vegas gave up 7 catches for 70 yards against Sal Cannella. I think Cannella and Latimer are 1A and 1B when you look at the best tight ends across the whole XFL. So same thing I'd say on both sides. You have to limit penalties and you have to establish the run game. I actually have more faith in Orlando to establish the run than I do Vegas. The Vipers offense in the first game of the Ray Sherman era, 394 total yards, most of them through the air last week, 71 on the ground, but not bad. 6.7 yards a play. They had 20 first downs. They got Jeff Badette. Bet on Badette, our new slogan here. 73% completion rate for Luis Perez and Brett Hundley combined. Those are all signs pointing up. And I think that's why this number is above 7. Again, a lot of you questioning this. How could the spread be so large with two teams that are winless? It's because of the numbers. Vegas performed well on offense against a really good defense last week. I assume they'll stick with Perez. Again, that Jeff Badette connection. He's the best playmaker on either side for this one, 13 in black. Sinquay Sweeting, another breakout star. Orlando absolutely has to watch out for 14. He could have scored 3 touchdowns last week, actually 4. And he had 1 called back for a penalty. 1, he was just barely out of bounds. He caught 2. That stood. So whether that's Hundley or Perez, I would like to see more John Lovett as well. He's been a pleasant surprise. The former Nittany Lion transferred from Baylor to play his final year in college for the blue and white. He's been pretty useful in the passing game in that wheel route offense. If you win, you stop the bleeding here. So this is a crucial spot for both teams. At least you stop it for another week, put the Band-Aid on there. If you lose, you are without a doubt the clown of the XFL. And nobody wants to be the clown. Nobody wants to be that team whose season is over in a month. You don't want to just focus on year 2. If you win a game here, it changes everything for the confidence of these teams. And I'm not saying they're playoff contenders. I'm not saying they're even going to compete in the playoff race. Just win a game. I said Orlando would win one this season. I don't know if this is the best spot to do it. I'd like to catch one later in the year. But wounded animal mode, as Josh Pate would say, for both these teams who are both 1-3 against the spread. I think for the first time all year, I'm going with the Vegas Vipers. 23-18 here is a score I threw out there. So if you're looking at the over 42, that would not get you there. You would fall short. But you know this is going to be sloppy in the first half. Yeah, keep Mike's up there. He's obviously riding with Vegas. Are we all picking the Vegas Vipers?
We are.
Okay. I think is this the first time this year both of us? I don't think you picked Vegas yet this year.
I have not picked Vegas yet.
Okay. Well, we had no choice.
I'm probably not going to pick them again.
Not 7.5 though. We can both agree on that.
No,
too steep.
If I got 2 best bets, I would take Orlando to cover.
Okay.
I really do. What's that?
It's just so hard to back this team, even though all the numbers say you should. You just feel like the bottom is going to fall out and all hell's going to break loose and it's going to be chaos and something's going to happen where Vegas covers late because of a miscue. But no, I think the smart play would be Orlando. I don't know. Any thoughts on the total 42? I think it's a little too high.
I like the under.
Yeah.
It's tough. And you keep disagreeing with me, but
that's what I'm here to do.
I know, I guess. I think Orlando is trending up. I like what I'm seeing. I'm liking the adjustments. You keep telling me what adjustments, but I think T-Buck has it in him. Even though he's shaking his head almost the entire game, he's still making adjustments. And is he going to call plays this week?
We haven't confirmed that. He said in the press conference there was a lot of things that he would have to take a real serious look at. And again, a lot of the teams in the XFL are doing this. Statistically, yes, they're trending up. Morale, no. And I can tell you from being in person in Orlando, literally standing around on the field with 5 minutes to go, talking to some of the other media, and we're like, do we even go in the press conference? Because is it going to be a brawl that breaks out? Like, the team just not seeing eye to eye with each other. When you have a divided locker room like that, it can be tough. And this Quentin Dormady thing has been a disaster of a distraction for them. What could have possibly happened? How do you just clear a guy now? Why would the allegation even come out? I would love to hear the full story. But he's back. I mean, if I was Dormady, I wouldn't want to play for Orlando. I'd want a fresh start somewhere else. St. Louis needs a third quarterback.
I think they're just going to release him anyways.
Yeah. Too many quarterbacks.
That's my gut feeling.
They're not going to get rid of Flowers. So enough about that dumpster fire of a game. We're going to still watch it because we love the XFL. But this could be one of those games, maybe ends like 48-41, and everyone's like, what the hell just happened? If you remember 2020, LA Wildcats, Tampa Bay Vipers, I think both teams were like 1-3. It ended like 49-42, and everyone was like, well, how did these teams score 80 points?